The internet is fake, but the pressure is very real. And today we need to talk about how this illusion is quietly influencing people into debt, distorting personal style, and making us forget what fashion was ever meant to be. Hi loves, welcome back to GTWJ, where fashion thinks deeper. If you're new here, I'm Ju, and this is the space where we unpack the psychology of style, the meaning behind trends, and what's really happening in the luxury world. And of course, follow us on Instagram at GTWJmag for daily fashion commentary you won't find anywhere else. Let's get into it. Have you ever found yourself scrolling through your feed and suddenly feeling like your wardrobe isn't enough? That you need that bag, those shoes, that aesthetic? That if you don't have this exact look, you're behind? You're not alone. The internet was built to make you feel that way. It's a highlight reel, a carefully staged theatre of excess. And while the luxury world has always had its exclusivity, social media has taken it to dangerous extremes. Influencers stage £20,000 hauls, half of which go back the next day. TikTok girls drop $6,000 on outfits to dress rich but won't show you the credit card debt or the rent they can't pay next month. And meanwhile, everyday people, smart, stylish, discerning people, are being made to feel like their personal style isn't valid unless it comes with a logo or a new season tag. Let's talk psychology. Humans crave belonging. It's one of the oldest instincts we have. And luxury, especially now, is positioned as a modern badge of belonging. It's a shortcut to respect, to perceived success. But what's worse is how the internet ties identity to consumerism. You're not just buying a bag, you're buying status. You're buying a seat at a table that doesn't actually exist. And this is where personal style suffers, because when you're chasing what's viral, you're not dressing for yourself anymore. You're dressing for validation. Fashion was never meant to be that. The icons we still reference, Carolyn Bessette, Princess Diana, Rihanna, Françoise Hardy, weren't following trends. They set them. Because it wasn't about what was expensive. It was about what felt like them. I want to talk about some of the outfits I've seen recently that reflect this shift. On one side, you've got the loud luxury girls drowning in monogram head to toe. And on the other, you've got the quiet icons. Women in clean, tailored vintage Alaya, old Celine, or a crisp white shirt paired with the softest, perfectly aged Hermes Kelly you've ever seen. No logos, no hashtags, just an energy. You can spot it a mile away. What stands out is intention. Every piece says something, not because it's expensive, but because it belongs to the person wearing it. That's the essence of personal style, not chasing the next viral must-have. Let's be clear, there's nothing wrong with loving beautiful things. I do. I buy luxury. I collect certain pieces because I appreciate their craftsmanship and history. But I buy them for me, and I'll wear them with a Zara tee if that's what feels right. That's style. The real problem is when the internet sells you a lifestyle it doesn't even live. When it makes you feel like you need to prove your worth with your wallet. When girls are taking on debt for a bag instead of a deposit on an apartment. When your self-esteem is tied to your closet. And so much of this pressure is invisible because it's packaged as empowerment. Treat yourself. You deserve it. You only live once. And while you absolutely do deserve beautiful things, you also deserve financial peace, autonomy, and confidence in who you are without a price tag attached. If you're watching this, know you're not behind. You don't need to keep up. Personal style isn't bought, it's built over time. With pieces you love, whether they're from Hermes or your grandmother's closet. What makes a look powerful isn't the label, it's the story. So my message today is, unsubscribe from the pressure. Follow people who inspire your creativity, not your spending habits. Buy the bag because you love it, not because it's trending. And remember, true style, the kind that turns heads in any room, comes from knowing exactly who you are. And on that note, thank you for being here, for thinking deeper about fashion with me. Follow us on Instagram at GTWJmag for more conversations like this. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe because the internet may be fake, but our community is very real. And before we wrap this up, let's really sit with what this means, not just for fashion, but for culture. We are living in a time where everything's curated, filtered, and monetized, where even authenticity is a performance. But here's what the internet doesn't tell you. Wealth, Real wealth isn't loud. It's not desperate for proof. It moves differently. And it's not just about old money versus new money. It's about security, about not having to perform, and about having the confidence to buy what you love because you love it, not because someone told you it'll get you views. That's why when you see the women who truly live in luxury, the elegance hits different. It's not the logo, it's the energy. It's the way they walk into a room, the way they mix a $35,000 watch with a t-shirt they've had for years, the way they know what works on them and have zero interest in proving it to anyone else. That's what makes style unforgettable. And don't get it twisted. You don't need a fortune to have that. You need discernment, intention, an eye for detail. The kind of personal relationship with fashion that comes from knowing yourself, not chasing an algorithm. So when you're scrolling and feeling like you need to catch up, pause. Ask yourself, do I want this for me or for them? Because the truth is, half the people you're watching don't even want what they're showing you. It's content, it's commerce. You, however, you can opt out of the performance. You can build a wardrobe with stories, pieces you've found, things you've saved for, items that remind you of who you are and who you're becoming. That's power. That's style. And that's what GTWJ is here for, to cut through the noise, to talk about fashion like it matters, because it does. But it matters for what it says, not what it costs. Thank you for being here, for thinking deeper, for refusing to be another mannequin in someone else's showroom. Make sure you're following us on Instagram at GTWJmag for daily posts, breakdowns, and conversations you won't find anywhere else. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe, because I promise you, this is the fashion space you didn't even realize you were missing. I'll see you in the next video. Loves. Stay sharp, stay original, stay untouchable.